Okay? Another loan that is literally out there. I think this is the dumbest loan there is of all of them. It's called a growing equity mortgage loan. Growing equity mortgage. Sometimes you hear it called a GEM, G-E-M, for growing equity mortgage. The slang term for this is a doctor's loan. You'll hear it sometimes called a doctor's loan. Because what a growing equity mortgage is, first of all, let's visit back the amortized loan. What was the other name for an amortized loan? Level payment. So every month your payment is level. It's the same number. Guess what a growing equity mortgage is? Your payments increase over time. It is a scheduled increase of your monthly payments. So if you look at the curve on a amortized loan, you've got the level payment going here. On a growing equity mortgage, it looks like this. Every month, your payment, or every so often, could be 6 months, could be a year, your payments are scheduled to increase. So you might start off at $750 for 3 months, then it goes to $760, then $790, then $810. And the reason they call this a doctor's loan is because it mirrors the income of what a doctor would do, right? Come out of school, you make X amount of money. As you become better practice, your income goes up, you can afford more house payment. So they call it a doctor's loan, but it's a growing equity. What's the point? You pay it off faster. That's exactly what we just talked about a minute ago. On a level payment, it may take you 30 years to pay off your loan. If you schedule the increases that go up and up and up, you may pay it off in 20 years. Now, if you are a math expert, you could figure the area under the curves. How much principal do I pay back? Still pay the same principal back on both loans, right? How much interest do I pay on a growing equity mortgage? I don't know the number, I haven't done the math, but you can guess what? It's less. It's less because you're paying it off in shorter time. The reason I don't like this loan is because it is a scheduled increase. If something happens and you can't make that payment, you could go into default. Because you all know you can take a level payment loan and always do what? Add more money to it. So you can artificially create your own growing equity by every month paying your $750 and go, well, I made a little extra, I'm going to throw another 100 in. I'm going to throw another 100 in. Then if something happens and you can't afford the 100, at least you can drop back down to the $750 that you're scheduled to pay and not end up in default. So it makes no sense to schedule an increase to me.
And who gets a raise every 3 months?
I don't know.
Not many people. A doctor.
A doctor. An attorney, an engineer, any professional that comes out of college here and ends up there. They call them doctor's loans. But I mean, you could throw some on and make it extra. Call it principal plus. So you could take a level loan and in essence turn it into a growing equity by just adding some voluntarily.
So this is just attractive because the interest rate's lower.
It's attractive. Well, no, because you can still create this curve by you adding more money every month. The attractive portion to me would be if you are a person that needs the direction to say, you're going to pay $750 this month, you're going to pay $800. Because as we know, some people need that push to actually get things done. Hence, live classroom people that didn't want to take it online. People online are like, I can do that. People that come to the live, no, I need someone to tell me to Same concept. 99% of everybody that shows up in the classroom has the same answer. Well, I'd rather come to live class because that way I've got a set time that I got to be here and I'm held accountable. And okay, maybe they need a growing equity mortgage. I'm not saying it's you guys, obviously. It's different people, not you. It's also called a rapid payoff. Now, here's the one, and I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of math or reasons why. The next one, which is a newer loan that's come out, is called a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage. The easiest way to think of a reverse mortgage is you are selling your equity back to the bank. You are selling your equity back to the bank. All right? So now, if you remember the amortized curve, how it went down towards the end, the reverse mortgage goes up, meaning the amount of money you owe on the house increases. I used to have a really good joke for this until it happened to me. Because in a reverse mortgage, who's the one that usually gets screwed? The heirs. It was real funny until my dad died. Now my mom's on a reverse mortgage. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. Think of this. This is how a reverse mortgage works. At some point in time, like my parents, they had 80% equity, 20% loan, because they had all their life paid down their loan, right? My father passes away. I grew up in the Harriet and Ozzie household. Mom didn't work. My mom has never had a job. You know, her job was my brother and I, and trust me, that's a job, all right? So what Mom did was sell that 80% equity back to the bank so that every month she now gets a monthly check from the bank. Instead of making a payment, they're paying her. But while they're paying her, the amount of loan goes up. All right? So virtually at the end of that loan period, 20 years, whatever it is, she now owes 80% with a 20% equity. She will pass away. My brother and I will get the house. We will sell the house. That is our inheritance. And what we will get is to split this 20%. Whereas if here she passed away, we'd have split the 80. So like I said, it used to be a real funny joke. The people that are truly getting, and I'm going to use the word harmed, and I don't mean that, are the heirs. Because what they're doing is she's living on. Now, harm's not the right word, okay? Because no one in here, I doubt anybody in here would begrudge one of your parents' money if they needed it, all right? I own 11 houses. I don't need Mom's house. So I told her, yeah, get the money. Take the money while you can. It's your asset that you have paid into. It is your right to now live on the assets you've collected. And I told you the other day, Truly Wealthy holds an asset. That's an asset. She's got 80% equity in that house. So she's selling it back. Now, at no time does the bank ever kick her out. Remember, they don't own the house. Why? Because it's a lien. The only difference is the lien just increases in the amount that she owes. So when she passes away, we sell the house, pay the lien off, and keep the equity.
What if she lives far longer than you expect?
All right. Because there are some rules to this, statistically, that'll never happen. It will happen with the very short people. Because one of the rules is you got to be over 65 or 63, 62. Okay, so they make like a 30-year loan. That's 92. That's way above the statistical average, And even if they live that long, most 92-year-olds still don't live in their own home. They're already out by then. All right? So they have done the math and realized that very seldom do 62-year-olds live to be 92.
What's the minimum equity?
If it happens, let me finish the story. If it happens, she still stays in her home until she dies, and they just wait for their money. If this isn't, like I said, I don't want to get into all this because this is not a class on reverse, but it's insured by the FHA, so the FHA will pay it off if she lives to be 92. In Mom's case, she was 75. She'd have to live to be 105 in her own home still. All right? If that happens, she still lives there, and FHA makes the lender whole because it's a crapshoot. All right? So, in concept, it's a great idea. All right? In reality, there are a lot of people out there that are taking advantage of an elderly and explaining it wrong and lying to them and things like that. I can't counteract that. The concept is a very sound concept that works. It gives a person on limited, low income another source of income. And they never leverage the property more than 80%. All right? Now, there's some other math in there because what they do is they actually figure the value of the house in 30 years and leverage that amount. And they hope the house appreciates like it's supposed to. So when you first see the numbers, you panic because my mom is going to end up owing like $220,000. Well, the house is only worth $180,000. Well, yeah, but in 30 years, what's it going to be worth? That's how they do it. So there is some dice rolling and crap shooting there. Did you have fun doing it?
I got her out of it. Now we just make the payments.
That's even better.
Not the bank. And then we put the kid's name in it.
That's the other way. Just make your parents' house payment for them and don't have to worry about it. Yeah. I remember when I got my first house, I called Mom and Dad over for dinner. And when we sat down to eat, I told my dad, I said, oh, before you sit down, you got to turn the circle 3 times. He's like, why? I said, well, damn it, you're in my roof. You'll do what I tell you to do. Because that's what he told me all my life. Well, you're under my roof. You're going to do what I tell you to do. There's a balloon payment there on page 251 we already talked about. The balloon payment's a one-time large amount that pays off the balance of the loan and usually is acquired through a refinance or sale of the property. Okay? Stop the audio.